Hello, hello, Mom and Dad Meet World. So today we are working on my 2007 Honda Fit, and we are going to check the transmission fluid and ultimately replace the transmission fluid. That can be a very expensive service at a dealership. My car is an automatic. It is the sport model. And so I'm going to show you a couple things here about what we're going to use today, and then we'll get started. So first and foremost is to know where your dipstick for your transmission fluid is located. It is located on the driver's side, kind of behind this little cap right here. If you look straight down, you'll see a yellow dipstick about 6 to 8 inches down. I'm going to go ahead and throw on one of my gloves. Actually, I'll just grab it in bare hand and pull it out because my car is not hot right this minute. You normally want to check your transmission fluid when it is warm and level. Mine is showing low right now. This is the hot, and telling you to check it if it's hot in between these dash marks. I'm down here below the dash marks. Like I said briefly, my car has 240,000 miles on it. I am definitely due for a service. I noticed it just being a little sluggish on some uphill pulls. So that is how you wipe it off, clean it off. Stick it all the way in. Give it about 3 seconds. You can count out a slow count. You'll feel it seat all the way down. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. Pull it up at a fairly decent rate. You don't have to go super fast, but then keep it flat, and you'll see same level it was before, slightly low on my dipstick. So it doesn't look burnt. If you look at it on my finger, you'll know your transmission fluid is bad when it is super dark. But also you'll notice this is pretty thin because it is at the time for the change and is starting to break down, which is why we're doing this preemptively today. Because the transmission is expensive, a car is expensive, and this is an investment in our car. So some things you should know is we got genuine Honda automatic transmission fluid. We bought it off Amazon in a 4-pack. You can either get it off Amazon or you can go straight to the dealer, but I do not recommend that you cut costs on any Honda parts when it comes to transmission fluid. We did get some transmission crush washers to replace the washer to the drain pan. We have an empty drain pan here so that we can make sure that the amount of fluid I put in it is what I took out of it. So I'm just triple checking the amount compared to the manual. I have a long transmission funnel here that will go in place of the dipstick, because this is how you fill it from the dipstick that we'll talk about. My jack to jack up the car on this side, my jack stand, and my tire chalk for safety to make sure that while I'm underneath the vehicle, I'm being safe. Additionally, we will get out, it's the end of the socket, like the 3/8 inch socket or the 1/2 inch socket, the little head that sticks out, actually will stick straight into my drain, and I'll show you the end of the bolt that pulls out. It's pretty cool. But these are the tools that I'm going to use today. Gloves or no gloves, it's up to you. Do you like your hands to get greasy and dirty under the fingernails, or would you like to be able to actually be cleaned up after you get done? I'm obviously going to use gloves. Other than that, I'm just going to brake here, jack up the car, and we'll get started. So hello, Mom and Dad Meet World. So we are using a 1/2 inch adapted down to 3/8 inch in our drain pan right here. So we're doing that because the 1/2 inch is a much more bigger, beefier ratchet for me. Gives me a little bit more leverage. No. So we switched out the cameraman for the camera woman because this was thoroughly on there. This bolt should only have about 36 foot-pounds of torque. You want it good and snug with a good crush bolt, but it should not take Superman to get it off. As you can see, Dennis had that drain pan perfectly positioned. It's draining right out. We're going to show you what that drain pan or what that washer looks like here in a sec. So Dennis is holding right now the drain pan, or not the drain pan, but the drain washer. If you see the tip of it right there where it's gray, he's going to run his finger over it and show you. Those are little metal shavings on the tip of that drain bolt. That is a magnetic tipped drain bolt, and Honda does that so as your transmission gets normal wear and tear, any metallic shavings that come off your transmission just hit the end of the drain plug and don't get up in there and get your gears all messed up. You notice that crush washer is really tight coming off of there. It's probably over tightened. The last time around, we probably cinched that bad boy down a little too far. My guess is we didn't use a torque wrench last time. or may have even had it down at Honda and they didn't use a torque wrench. But that's the washer that we are going to replace on the drain plug bolt. So to give you a little bit more context, the end of the bolt is literally, it looks like a socket would go, it looks like it's a socket head. So it's a 3/8 inch. So you could use a 3/8 inch ratchet, but we're using a 1/2 inch with a 3/8 inch adapter, so that we just had a little bit more beefier ratchet that we could stick in there. We just stuck it on loosen, stuck it right in there, and backed it right out, and then the fluid came out just like you would with an oil change. It only changes out about 2.5 quarts. The rest of the fluid that's up in the differential or the transfer case stays there. So you'll want to make sure that you don't overfill this, but this is what the drain plug and the crush washer look like after you've pulled them out and cleaned them up. It's just got a nice steady stream. We didn't jack it up super high because you want the car as close to level as possible to get as much fluid out of the car as possible. And you can do it warm. You could even do it really hot if you had like a lift to drive over. But you're going to burn yourself on that transmission trying to get up underneath there. We recommend you do it just slightly warm so that you can get enough of the fluid out, but yet also not get hurt in the process. Again, a little disclaimer, we're not ASE certified mechanics. There's no warranty implied here with what we're doing to our own car. We're just choosing not to spend anywhere upwards of $300 to $500 at the dealership for roughly $30 in parts. So as you can see, the drain is now starting to drip to where it's just got a drip instead of a steady stream. So I'll probably leave that like that for another minute or two. We're recording. Dennis is going to go ahead and put the old or the new crush washer all cleaned up and the drain plug bolt back in there. It's been dripping here for probably 3 or 4 minutes without the drain running steadily. So we've probably got as much as we're going to get out of it. You see that bolt? He just put it in there hand tight. He's going to wipe it off now, get everything removed out from underneath there so that we can tell that there's no fresh steady leaks. And then we're going to slide that drain pan out of there. He's also going to put a torque wrench on that we have already set to 36 foot-pounds of torque after he gives it a little snug. It's clicking right past, so we're at the 36 foot-pounds of torque. Good to go. And I'm going to call that a day. It's clammed out from underneath the car. We have the old transmission fluid down here. It's got a nice pink tinge to it. There's no debris in it. It looks good. It doesn't smell burnt. Move those sockets out of the way. He's getting ready to stick the funnel in place of where the dipstick would be, so we can put a quart in. And as we put a quart in, we're then going to use that quart, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Yep. All right, so we have the funnel right here that we are going to take down. I'm squeezing it so I don't put pressure on the radiator hose or any of my air stuff to get it out of the way, but it also just gives me a little bit more flexibility. It is in the hole, and so now I can let it go. And if you come over from this side, top down, you should be able to see a little bit behind my airflow box if it focuses in there. I'm going to open the ATF fluid. This is Honda, genuine Honda automatic transmission fluid. It's 1 quart. I'm going to make sure that I push down on this as I pour, and I'm also going to keep an eye on the other end to make sure that it's nice and slow, that it's going in and not flowing back out like every now and then. If anybody's ever had a funnel move on them, it's not pleasant to clean up. So slow and steady. So there's 1 quart. I know it's going to take 2.5. I'm going to go ahead and put 2 in before I use the funnel to fill these back up, so I can just make sure that I'm putting the right amount in my car. All right, so we've got 2 quarts of oil in here. So now we're going to transmission fluid. I should clarify, not oil, transmission fluid, but it looks like an oil container. We're going to use a funnel, and that go just like this, and we're going to pour this tray right back in here to make sure that we get these two filled up. So we did put the half quart in, so we're at 2.5 quarts, and that's going to be just about right. We are going to warm up the car, let it run all the way warm, and then run it through all the gears, forward, backwards, reverse, neutral, let it sit for a minute, and then check the dipstick when it is hot to make sure that we have a true full reading. The reason I'm showing you this half quart is because we did fill up the other 2 quarts, and you'll see about a half a quart is left here in my drain pan. I don't have a third empty quart, so I'm going to have to take it down to the local automotive store in this container carefully and not spill it, because I didn't think through having a third empty container. So make sure you have a container, whether it's the drain pan that's got the lid and locking cap that I use that for my oils versus my transmission fluids, or just enough single spare quart containers to get rid of your waste properly when you're done. Yeah, or as Dennis was just saying, if you bought a 1 gallon container, like the 5 quart, that you would have room in that if you had an empty one that you could fill that back up. Just so you could check and make sure that what you took out is what you put back in. Ultimately, even if you took out less than you put back in because your transmission fluid was low, which it looks like mine might have been, which actually might have been the reason why I was feeling the sluggish shifting versus it just being due. That's not a big deal. The big deal is that you don't overfill it. You want it full. You want it in those hash marks, but you do not want to overfill it. You will blow out your seals in your transmission, and it's a very expensive job you don't want to do. So we're going to start it up, and I'll show you when we come back to check the transmission fluid when it's warm. So we are right here at the bottom of this hash mark. And I've checked this about 3 or 4 times now, so I know that this is accurate, that it's in the hash marks. I'm going to drive it for a couple days, and then I'll check it again. You always want to make sure you're in between the hash marks. Never below, never over top, and that your car is good and warmed up. This has been a fun how-to doing transmission fluid tune-up on your 2007 Honda Fit automatic sports model vehicle. And don't forget to use your genuine OEM parts. This is not paid for or solicited by Honda. I just know that the Honda transmission fluid has special lubricants in it that are meant for your car. I have a few ASC certified mechanics in our family who will tell you that certain makes and models matter. For clarification, we did end up using about 2 3/4 quarts, not 2.5. Probably because we jacked it up from the driver's side, gave it a little bit of a tilt, got a little bit more fluid exchange out to go back in, which is totally fine as long as you fill it up appropriately. I do encourage you to make sure that you check your transmission fluid, your oil, and all of your fluids regularly. Make sure that you thank your local mechanics. If you have a dad, a grandpa, an uncle, a brother, a sister, a mom who does mechanics work for you. And if you found this video helpful, like, share, subscribe. And until next time, I'm going to go wash my hands and then maybe go enjoy this beautiful weather. Take my car for a drive.